I knew my job interview was a setup the moment the hiring manager asked me questions only my ex knew the answers to. I applied for the role thinking it was a fresh start. New company, better pay, different city. After a rough breakup 6 months earlier, I was ready to move on with my life. The recruiter loved my resume, the HR call went great, and by the time I was invited for the final interview, I felt genuinely hopeful for the first time in a while. The interview started normal. We talked about my experience, my skills, my goals. Then the hiring manager leaned back, smiled, and asked, "So how do you usually handle conflict with people who are emotionally close to you?" It caught me off guard, but I answered professionally. Then he followed up with, "And how do you respond when someone accuses you of being emotionally distant under stress?" That phrase hit me like a punch. Those were almost the exact words my ex used during our last argument. I brushed it off, telling myself I was being paranoid, but the questions kept getting more personal. Not illegal, not inappropriate, just specific. He asked about my communication style in relationships, how I deal with jealousy, and whether I tend to shut down when overwhelmed. At one point he said, "We value transparency here, especially after past situations." Past situations where? I walked out of the interview with a pit in my stomach. Something felt very wrong. That evening, I did what I probably should have done earlier. I looked up the company employees on LinkedIn, and there it was, my ex's name. She wasn't just working there, she was on the same team, 2 levels above the role I applied for. Different department, but close enough to influence decisions, close enough to talk. I felt sick. We hadn't spoken in months. The breakup wasn't explosive, but it wasn't clean either. She had accused me of not being emotionally present enough and said she needed someone who communicated better. I accepted it, worked on myself, and moved on, or so I thought. The next day, I got the rejection email. It was polite, vague. After careful consideration, we've decided not to move forward. No feedback. A week later, a mutual friend accidentally filled in the gaps. He mentioned my ex had told people at work that she almost had to deal with a really awkward situation involving someone from her past applying there. She joked about how small the world is and how she dodged that. Dodged what? I'll never know exactly what she said behind closed doors. I'll never know if the interview was intentionally designed to test me based on her version of our relationship. But I do know this, my professional opportunity was filtered through someone else's unresolved feelings. Some people I talked to said I should be glad I didn't end up working somewhere that messy. Others said I should report it. A few told me it was just bad luck and to move on. But it messed with me more than I expected. Because if someone from your personal past can quietly shape your future without you even knowing, how many doors closed that you never realize were influenced by stories you don't get to tell? And here's what I keep wondering. If you were me, would you confront your ex and demand clarity? Or would you accept that some chapters end by rewriting the pages behind your back? I honestly don't know which choice would bring more peace. What would you have done?